What is going on? Welcome to Greggles TV. Today's video is about Pixel 10 Pro Fold versus the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and what we know about the Pixel 10 Pro Fold so far, because we do have official specs and it's all leaked out, and I'm going to tell you which phone is better for who. So starting off with probably the biggest difference of this phone totally versus each other is the processor with the Snapdragon 8 Elite on the Galaxy Z Fold 7, which has benchmarks of up to over basically 9,000 on the Geekbench 6 score. And then with the Google Pixel 10 Pro Fold, you get the Tensor G5, which gets about 6,000. So the difference in the processing power is hugely different. It's basically 2 to 3 generations behind the 8 Elite. The 8 Elite is that much more powerful than the Tensor G5. Now, on a day-to-day basis, you won't notice any difference. You might even think that the Pixel 10 Pro Fold is smoother, but that has more to do with software optimization, and also has to do with that the Pixel software is, it's not bare bones, but it's pretty bare bones and vanilla versus what you get with a Galaxy Z Fold 7. So if you need, if you're into, AAA gaming, have it be a game like Fortnite or Genshin Impact or anything like that, a racing game, you're going to want to go with Galaxy Z Fold 7. You're going to get way better performance, way better frame rates. If you're just into day-to-day operation, going to websites, taking some photos, taking some videos, you're not going to edit really anything. You're not going to play any high-end gaming, or if you do, you're fine with playing them in basically medium settings, then you might be absolutely fine with the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. But there will be fairly large differences between these two phones in terms of processing power. If you need and want the most powerful folding phone on the market that you can get in America and a lot of the other world, definitely get the Galaxy Z Fold 7. And the winner definitely with processing power and just power in general is the Galaxy Z Fold 7. Main camera. Now, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 absolutely destroys it in megapixels, 200 megapixels versus 48 megapixels on the 10 Pro Fold. And then you look at the other specs on there, which are relatively the same in terms of the ultra wide camera and the telephoto camera, all being at basically 12 and 10 or 10 each on their respective phones. The winner in terms of megapixels, definitely the Z Fold 7. The better zoom, you'll get up to 5x on the telephoto with the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. That doesn't always tell the story. These phones both take really, really great photos. It's going to come into how they're optimizing the software. Pixel usually does an amazing job on this. So with that said, the winner is going to be, wait until we see the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. If I had to guess, I would guess that the Galaxy Z Fold 7 will take better video. I would guess photos would be closer than we think based off what I know about Pixel phones and have seen in the past. They take really great photos, really consistent photos. But I'll say, based off what we know right now, that the Galaxy Z Fold 7 will have a better camera system. That whole is a guess, but I just have a feeling that's what we're going to end up seeing when I compare these two. Now, RAM, you can get 12 gigs of RAM on the Z Fold 7. You can't on the Pixel 10 Pro Fold, because all the Pixel 10 Pro Fold variants have 16 gigs of RAM, no matter which variant of that phone that you get. If that's not a big deal to you, it won't matter. And to be honest with you, you're not going to notice that much of a difference. If you need 16 gigs of RAM, you can get it with the 1 terabyte version on the Z Fold 7. But otherwise, you're probably not going to notice any difference, especially with high intensity operations, video editing, photo editing, gaming. The Z Fold 7 will still win no matter what, even if it has 4 gigabytes less RAM, if you have the 256 or the 512. So winner, I'm going to call it a tie. Durability, it's going to be based off dust and water resistance. It is the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. You're getting IP68 dust and water resistant, so you can go to different places that you couldn't go with the Z Fold 7 and get a little dust in there, maybe get a little bit of sand, and should be protected with that Pixel 10 Pro Fold. You can't always say that with the Z Fold 7. It does have a bit of dust resistance in there, but it's bigger particles of sand that it can handle, whereas the Pixel 10 Pro Fold can handle pretty much fine particles. So the winner, yeah, Pixel 10 Pro Fold, but in terms of overall durability, they're both going to be made really, really well. And until we get our hands on that Pixel 10 Pro Fold, it's hard to say, but I know for a fact the Z Fold 7 is made exceptionally well. Battery capacity, 5,015 milliamps on the Pixel 10 Pro Fold, much more than the battery capacity on the Z Fold 7 at 4,400 milliamps. It is a huge difference. You'd have to guess that the Pixel 10 Pro Fold will probably get better battery life than the Galaxy Z Fold 7. I know on my Z Fold 7, and everyone's going to be different, I get about 5 hours of screen on time. I could, if I play my cards right, and get up to 6 hours of screen on time. What is the Pixel 10 Pro Fold going to get? Is it going to get 7, 8 hours? Is it going to get 6.5? Is it going to get 6 regularly? That remains to be seen, but battery capacity for sure, Pixel 10 Pro Fold for the win. Wired charging, 25 and 30 watts on the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. Again, the Pixel 10 Pro Fold takes the win. It's a faster, slightly faster charging speed on there. Now, 0 to 100, it's probably going to be about the same because the battery's smaller on the Z Fold 7 versus the 10 Pro Fold. So when you factor in that amount, it's basically the same, even though it's 5 watts faster on the Pixel 10 Pro Fold, but I will give the win to the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. Now, the inner displays are both the same size at 8 inches. I'll be honest, I generally prefer the Samsung Galaxy screens over anybody else, but the Pixel 10 Pro Fold has 3,000 nits of brightness versus 2,600 nits on the Galaxy Z Fold 7. One thing you're going to notice on these two phones in terms of brightness is that with Pixel phones, you have to go to about 80% to get to the same brightness of about 40% on a Galaxy Z Fold 7. They really don't let you max that full brightness out until you get all the way up at 100%. That's when you're like, okay, this thing is nice and bright. But otherwise, if you're sitting like 80% or lower, it's really not a huge difference. It almost looks dark to me, and I doubt they've changed that philosophy on this. But again, it is brighter overall. Cover display, 6.5 versus 6.4. I would obviously rather have a bigger display on there. But again, the brightness winner is the Pixel 10 Pro Fold on that. So we'll give the win to the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. Now, build and design, Pixel 10 Pro Fold is definitely thicker and heavier overall on here. And I know some people are not going to be happy with that. They're going to be like, ooh, no way, I don't want that. That is just terribly thick and heavy. So definitely thinner, lighter design, Galaxy Z Fold 7 by a huge difference. It's basically 2 millimeters thinner, and it's also about 43 grams lighter. It's a big difference, guys. You're going to notice a huge difference. Now, if you're just grabbing the Pixel 10 Pro Fold and you never grab the Galaxy Z Fold 7, honestly, you probably won't even think about it. But if you do, you're going to be like, whoa. So if you prefer thinner and lighter, go Z Fold 7 for the win. That one gets the win with it. Android updates exactly the same, 7 years of OS updates with security and OS. The big difference is that Pixel phone will get these updates way faster than the Z Fold 7. Z Fold 7 will get these a few months or a couple months probably later than the Pixel 10 Pro Fold, but ultimately they get the same amount of updates, so they'll be the same. Now, customization, if you're a big customizer, you're going to want to go Galaxy Z Fold 7. There's so many little things within the software itself and in the settings and multitasking, like so many cool ways you can do that. And good luck. It destroys the Google Pixel. Google Pixel is really good at being a vanilla experience, an experience that people that don't want to really tinker with their phone, you're going to love the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. If you just want something that's really basic and you like Android that way, go the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. But if you want it to be basic, you can do that on the Z Fold 7, but then you can go a whole nother level deeper with that customization and just go bounds and bounds away from the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. Z Fold 7 and Galaxy in general is just creme de la creme in terms of the customization. Now, which phone should you get? That's a good question. I think for the phone that I would personally recommend for most people would be the Galaxy Z Fold 7. The power and performance over the long term is going to feel way better if you're going to hold these phones for a couple of years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you got to go Z Fold 7. The Pixel is going to age like rotten milk. It's just not going to age very well. And then, especially if you want to end up gaming later or you don't game, it's just apps are going to get more, they're going to need more resources and all of that. Camera, if you're a creator, I should say, I'd probably still go the Galaxy Z Fold 7. I think ultimately it's going to have better video than the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. Now, my opinion might change when I get the phone in my hand, but just what I know from the past, I would say Z Fold 7 for the win on that. Everything else, if you're just a plain Jane vanilla kind of person and you want a folding phone with a big display, a bright display, a good sized battery in there, something that's going to get updates for years and years and years, even though it might slow down at some point because it doesn't have a ton of processing power, something that is going to be not thin, but pretty good in terms of thinness and weight on there, and has a lot of RAM, go the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. But I would guess more times than not, the sexier, better looking phone with way better processing power and definitely bright enough displays. It's not going to be a huge difference. It's 3,000 versus 2,600, but day to day, you probably really won't even notice a difference. And you love customization, go Z Fold 7. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. We'll see you down the road. Peace.